Good morning. We're live, Jane.
We're live.
We are live. It's Natasha Makes. No, Natasha.
No.
She's on holiday. How are you doing, everyone? What are we up to, Jane, while she's away? While the cat's away?
You know, messing them out a bit.
We get all the gnomes out, don't we?
Get the gnomes out because Natasha didn't want the gnomes.
She didn't want the gnomes. So I said to Jane, I'd love to do this particular book. And Jane was like, oh, yes! And the face and everything. And I went, yeah. We need to do a gnome show. So we ordered fabrics and ribbons and all sorts of things, didn't we?
Yeah.
Yeah. And then she's on holiday, so we can do this.
We can do it.
We can. I'm just going to try and get everyone's comments here, Jane, so that you know.
Yes.
We can be friendly and chat to people and all that stuff.
And say hello,
Hey,
good morning on this lovely sunny morning.
Absolutely.
We've got beautiful sunshine outside.
We have, and I'm a little bit snuffly, so I apologise to everybody. Many of you know I get like this anyway. It's a fibromyalgia thing. Snuffly, McSnufflesons. That's what it is. So sorry. You know.
Yeah.
But yes, we have many, many beautiful gnome things today. Unfortunately, what we don't have are our gnome fabrics because the courier's lost them. They're trying to locate them at the moment. So those you'll see in the collection are on pre-order. We would have loved to have shown you these because they are...
They may still arrive while we're talking and they may get whizzed in, and we can always keep our fingers crossed for that. Yeah. But we're not too hopeful, are we really? We're just feeling a bit sad about it because we were excited they were going to come yesterday.
We were excited about them, and we still are excited about them, but they're Snuggle Season collection from Lewis and Irene, autumnal gnomes, because a gnome is for life, not just for Christmas, Jane.
Well, yes. I think people tend to think that a gnome looks a bit like Santa Claus and so therefore it's Christmassy, but
they think gnome and elf and
yes.
Santa, but a gnome is for life, not just for Christmas. So yes, we wanted to show all variety of gnome related things, including the fabrics. Cross your fingers that they appear during the show. If we hear SJ or Inga or little
we'll have
Izzy,
a little squeal going,
or if you see us go it means that those lovely fabrics have arrived. So when you look on today's collection, and for those of you who are joining us for the first time and don't know where that is, hello, welcome. You can go to natashamakes.com, click the Watch Live tab, scroll down, and then you just need to click the button that says View All Products, and it will show you everything we're featuring on the show today, including the stuff that hasn't turned up. Which and that's fair, isn't it?
On its way, honest.
It's just on its way.
Honest, Gov.
Absolutely. So,
yeah.
Two beautiful gnome fabrics, two lovely pumpkin fabrics as well that go with, but they're just lovely autumnal tones as well. The colours are stunning. Yeah, really lovely sage.
Well, classic Lewis and Irene, yes. Beautiful illustrations, beautiful colours.
Yeah, that's what they do well, isn't it?
It is, perfect.
It's what they do well. But in commiseration for the fact that our new Lewis and Irene hasn't turned up, we've done something a little bit naughty while Natasha's away, and we have, for today only, heavily discounted the Lewis and Irene Gingerbread Season collection because we can.
Yes, I'm going to sneeze. Excuse me a moment.
We're going to be like this today. I think it's a pollen thing as well. You all right?
Am I? No. Maybe I will. I don't think I am. I was just going to say, it's because you're a naughty little gnome today.
I know.
You're being like the gnome on the shelf.
This is what we did. It's what we did. Sylv says, gnomes and elves are people too, and very cute.
Yes, absolutely.
We feel like gnomes and elves around Natasha, don't we? Because she is so very, very tall. We're
little warehouse elves.
Small people. Oh, Becky says, I love a shenanigating show with you two lovely ladies, and well you should, because not only have we done very silly discounts on that there fabric from Lewis and Irene's Gingerbread collection, we've brought some cracking deals on the kits as well. Shall we have a little look at the Lewis and Irene, Jane? Just because we can. I feel like, you know...
We've got the beautiful stocking panel, and it's a double-sided, so you can make two with the pattern front and plain backs, or you can just put the two together. So it's double that width, isn't it? So and there's also a little bit on the camera. Let's just get the panel down. There's a little... Let's do that, Jane. There's a little bit here with the gingerbread man on that you could cut that out, put them together, and that or again plain backs on them, placemats, little cushions. So they're called stuffies, and the idea is that you stuff them and make a cuddly little cushion, but like you say, they'd make great placemats, or I'd love those as an applique on the front of an apron. And obviously one of our gnome shenanigatings is an apron today, but I just think that would look great as well, wouldn't it? And you've also got the bonus of these stars here, which again you could wad and have them as tree hangings, or you could put them as danglies from your stocking.
They're lovely, aren't they? They're really nice, Scandi. They look like iced cookies, don't they?
Yes, they do.
The whole collection has this kind of iced cookies feel to it. It's my favourite Christmas collection that's come in, and hence the, well, let's knock £2 a metre off it today.
Yeah, why not?
So you'll see that these fabrics normally go out, the cut-to-order fabrics, at £6.95. I've put them to £5.95, but there is a silly discount on both of the panels we'll show you as well. Yeah. So yes, there are also, I don't know whether we can see these, some very subtle hearts and a whole row of them along the bottom. Yeah, there we go. You can
see that. You can just see it, can't you?
They'd be really useful, and you know, you could use those for Valentine's or anything, couldn't you?
Yeah.
Fabulous.
Absolutely.
So now we've ruined your display, Jane. Should we pull off the fabrics actually before we put this back up?
Let's do that.
It's like everyone's getting a little look into how we put the set together. We'll take it to bits and put it together again.
We
I'll
can
keep this here
maybe
for now.
tuck that under the shelf while the shelf's got the thing on it.
You could. But yes, there's a gorgeous range. We have actually, I believe, sold out of one of the fabrics. I'm sure the others won't hang around for too long at these prices
I think it's one of the, where's the calico?
And the fan and all the things.
We just wrecked the whole set.
You know, when I said let's leave that, we'll put it back in a bit.
Yeah.
That's all right. I'll see what everyone's saying.
Let's drape that across there.
Have a little hello. Oh, it's lost the comments again, hasn't it? Just to be really helpful. I'll have to pull them up on my phone. We had this yesterday, you know, the comments were there to start with. We don't touch it and then they disappear. So let's pop the laptop down there. I noticed your mother was on. How's she feeling now?
She's much better. COVID's just, it leaves everybody drained, doesn't it?
It does.
She's, for someone that's, you know, always on the go, she doesn't do poorly very well.
It's frustrating, isn't it?
And she certainly doesn't do lack of energy very well either.
I also didn't do total isolation and near starvation very well either, because everyone seemed to forget I was in that room and might need a drink or something to eat. And I locked myself away to be really kind to the rest of the household, and then got quite tearful from every now and again.
Nobody loves me.
I really could do with some food and a drink. It has been 9 hours. And then they were like, oh yeah, we forgot you were in that. Yeah, thank you very much for the abandonment. Oh, Auntie Lizzie Crangle's with us, says good morning everyone. Good morning to you too as well. Jan, who's with us. Your mum says good morning.
Morning, Mum.
Wendy says good morning. Natasha picked the right week for a holiday. She did, and she's not in this country either. She's gone abroad. Oh, Sylv says her hay fever has been bad for the last week or two. Claire Angelina does not belong on today's show. She doesn't like gnomes or gongs.
Oh.
We'll let you off.
I don't know that we can be friends until
we'll let you off on the basis we have beautiful Christmas fabrics for you to enjoy. But perhaps we'll change this for you. Oh, Marilyn says, I love your top/dress, Jane. Did you make it? It's a dress, isn't it?
It's a dress. No, I'm not quite that clever.
You have done some dressmaking, I've done some dressmaking, but quilting's the thing.
Yes. I don't have much time for anything else at the moment.
No, we are going to go on a course. We keep saying it. We want to do like some fabulous learning how to do the whole fitting everything, and I need full bust adjustments and all sorts.
Fitting a zip properly and all of that. Yeah.
Yes. Oh, Vicky says, can't stay today but dropped in to say hello.
Morning, Vicky.
Oh my word, poor Susan. She says, morning lovely ladies, just out of hospital. She's had an operation. So she's feeling really sorry for herself. She's sure the show will take her away from the pain, but no sewing for 8 weeks.
Oh, God.
Bless you. Get well soon, my love. I'm sorry to hear that. Pat Adams says, good morning to all. And, oh, there we go. Elizabeth says, I often have to do small screen on the laptop to comment. Yes, our view is different because we are on the back end and we get to see all the stats and everything. And, you know, and if we press the wrong button, we get to just cut ourselves off completely and then you won't see anything else. So perhaps it's just as well I'm watching on this one rather than the other one. Yes. You never know when we might drop something on the laptop and get it wrong. Shall we have a look at these?
Yes, these lovely stars. These fabrics are beautiful blenders. They're going to be perfect for any project, not just...
No.
I mean, I think they're aimed at Christmas, but they're such lovely colours. They could be used in anything, and particularly in a children's project with the stars on.
Sure. I love these. I just, this colour, you know, is my thing.
I love this colour blue.
Do you know what I'd use this for as well? I'd love it as a binding. I think just to have a binding with the little stars on.
Perfect.
Just set things off, wouldn't it?
And then, of course, there's the traditional red, which is lovely and Christmassy, but again, would work in any child's project. It's
for sure.
It's quite a primary red, well, proper Christmas red, isn't it? Which is lovely, but a nice tone on tone, which works as a plain in projects as well.
Just one of those to have in your stash and pull every now and again, isn't it? When you've got something. But you know, 1/2 metre would do most quilts, wouldn't it?
Yeah,
for binding.
Absolutely.
So yeah, you grab a metre of this and have it in your stash. It'll be something to chop at and use. But that is your gingerbread stars on red, winter blue, and then this is on cream.
And beautiful. It's sort of a dusky red, isn't it? It's sort of not quite orange.
It's a terracotta tone, isn't it? It's lovely.
That's it, terracotta, that's the right word.
There you go. Got my uses. It's all those years in the nail industry trying to describe what the polish colours were.
The colours.
Sure.
That's lovely.
Fan those out so we can see how they all complement each other. Because they go well with this as well.
We've got beautiful gingerbread houses in the trees. Look at
What's not to love about these?
These are beautiful.
But the icing detail on the houses, but also on the trees, is just fabulous, isn't it?
Yeah.
And I love all this Scandi-inspired look, and we just felt this was a really appropriate collection with the gonks / gnomes. Because Scandi, it all ties together, doesn't it?
It does tie together. We tried our best, didn't we?
We did. We did, but we are bringing you the new fabrics, just, you know.
This is on a grey background, which is like a blue tone grey. It's a nice soft grey.
Yes.
And it's got the teal and terracotta and like a mustardy green colour in there.
Really lovely. I mean, Sylph's just said that the stars would be lovely for dressmaking, and I do agree. However, I think a skirt or a dress in this for Christmas would just be amazing.
Absolutely. And then we've got it, I think it's called, butterscotch. Isn't that a nice name for a colour?
Yeah, really nice.
It's sort of a beigey cream colour. And again, it's got the teal and the terracotta. And these lovely gingerbread men.
I think what I like about these as well is I like to get early in with Christmas things, but not overtly Christmassy, just seasonal.
Yes.
So, you know, those cosy nights, eating the naughty biscuits, all that kind of stuff. And I just think you could get all this out in November or wear an item with it on, and it just looks... It's not like walking around with a Christmas jumper on, is it?
And these would make nice, like, placemats and cushion fronts. You know, it's a nice...
Look at us stroking. It's a really nice cloth, though, from Lewis and Irene. I do like their fabric.
They use a really good quality base cloth when they do their printing. And then we've got it on red,
and that's
which is very sort of seasonal and traditional, isn't it?
Yes, very much so. And that's the thing with Lewis and Irene, is that their quality's good.
Yes.
And yet, I mean, a lot of our designer fabrics go out for around £8 a metre. These are already only at £6.95 a metre. But today, because she's on holiday, we've put them at £5.95 a metre. Yes. Which is crazy good value, isn't it?
It's amazing value, absolutely.
It is indeed. And Claire Angelina, not a gonk / gnome in sight on these ones. But for those of you who are, you know, like us, in search of some lovely fabric with gnomes on, we do have the 4 fabrics that we'd ordered for today's show on pre-order on today's collection.
They're on display on the website, aren't they?
They are, so you can see them.
You can see what they look like.
As soon as they're actually here, we'll wave them in front of a camera, assuming we've got any left in stock, because they are available to purchase, even though we can't get them here and wave them around today. Are you all right, Petal?
Yes, got it.
This went really well yesterday, didn't it? You trying to get that under those bolts.
It was like something from a Laurel and Hardy sketch where they get the sticky tape stuck on their fingers.
She's trying to put the one side up, and then the other side would fall down. Then she put the other side up, and the other side would fall down. I was chuckling. Not for long. I did come to your aid very quickly.
No, you did come to my rescue quite quickly.
So we've looked at that first panel. We've looked at those 6 fabrics. We've got another panel chain, haven't we? Which we won't get down. We'll leave that there.
This is a beautiful apron.
Really lovely.
The apron panel comes to there.
Yeah.
These are the straps for around the neck and around the waist.
Yeah. We've also got pockets.
Those pockets up there.
Absolutely lovely, and you can see it comes out. It tells you on them, look, ties.
It's got all the instructions there for the construction of the apron. So, you know, you could gift this to somebody to make for themselves. It'd be a great thing to do with young children because it's such a simple make. You know, nieces, nephews, your own children, grandchildren, they'd love to make themselves a Christmas apron. Or make it for mummy, you know, or daddy.
Absolutely. Vicky bought one of these, and she's very, very savvy as Vicky. She said, well, I've got it, so that then I've got that as a base to sort of trace off to make my own pattern, to be able to make other aprons. She said, no, I'll make it for someone as a gift.
Yeah.
which I thought was really savvy. Really savvy. But we have got a silly discount on these, and these discounts are for today only. I am going to sit and take them down tonight.
Get these ones down.
And then we've got the other fabrics, haven't we, Jane? They're lovely. Gorgeous.
There's some gorgeous ones in here, and these are really gingerbready.
Just going to hold on to here because we have a lovely array of gnome friends at the top.
Yes.
You may or may not be able to see those
customers, Nikki.
We'll talk about that in a minute because she's somewhat of a gnome/gonk expert and has given me some information.
Now you know I love a stripy binding.
Do you know, Wendy's just said something very valid as well. She says that these are lovely colours. They're not in your face. The colours in this collection.
They're not overtly Christmassy either.
No.
There's this lovely soft pink in here, so it's very versatile, and the vintage blue, and this lovely sagey green as well. So
Jane, you can see me pressing this button.
I can see you pressing it.
There we go. It does it when it wants.
Yes, it's got a mind of its own. Yes. A lovely stripe there with hearts. Again, I think it's to replicate icing sometimes on your cookies and things.
But again, not overtly Christmassy, and something you could just use if you know someone who loves these colourways. I think this next one would be fabulous as a kitchen item anyway.
Versatile. You could trim tea towels.
Or aprons, as you have done. Yeah.
Absolutely lovely. And it make a beautiful binding as well.
It really would, and it's just that lovely softness to it, isn't it? It's beautiful. Love that.
We've only got the 2 colourways of this
We have the other one's
gone. We did
gone.
have the 3, but the
There's a little skiddly bit left of the other one that is something to keep your eye out for tomorrow. It's not on cut to order. Those of you who know what we do on a Wednesday, ready to launch on a Thursday, will know where those others have gone, Jane. Paired with a plain, that's all I'm saying. There's not many of them.
Now these are really good fun. There's a lovely gingerbread man and a gingerbread lady and a gingerbread Father Christmas in here.
Is there? I haven't seen. There is.
There he is. Look, he's got proper. There's a little elf.
So there is.
In rose. Look. That's really lovely.
I can't believe I hadn't noticed the gingerbread Father Christmas.
But you can see as an overall design, it almost looks like florally, doesn't it? It's not. It's a nice scale of print. That's in the cream, and this is in the butterscotch. Again,
this would make a really nice dressmaking fabric, and they're small enough that you could put this into a child's shirt or skirt or dress or whatever, and it would be a really nice scale on them as well.
Again, a nice Christmassy feel top, but not necessarily Christmas.
Not in your face, Not until you spot the Santas, which clearly I hadn't. So these are your gingerbread people.
And
that's what they're calling them.
Red
gingerbread people.
They are people because there's men and ladies in here.
Lots of different ones. Yeah. And elves and all sorts.
So we've got it in the cream, the butterscotch and the red.
Lovely.
Which is beautiful. Lovely colourways. There's stars and hearts as well between the gingerbread men, which is people, which is lovely. A nice pattern on there. So there's those 3 colourways. And then we've got the scattered gingerbread men with hearts and trees. I think they're trees.
Yes, now these are called, she says.
They are called gingerbread shapes on cream.
That's the one.
And again, I think they've gone with the cookie idea. The stars and the hearts and the triangles, which look like trees. And it's like the icing detail on there.
Lovely muted colours, gorgeous.
That's on cream. This one is just called on dark, and it's that lovely blue, almost bluey green actually, grey tone, which is rather lovely and shows off the terracotta and the red really nicely. And then we've got the red colourway.
Beautiful.
Again, these would make beautiful napkins or trims on placemats.
Really lovely.
Really nice.
Oh, Cherie's with us and she says, oh, I love Christmas fabric. You and me both, Cherie.
We love Christmas. It's just... And some of the Christmas fabrics you can get are just amazing.
Vicky, who wasn't staying, says, Vicky, who was not staying, says, after making the Christmas one to gift, I'm going to make a turtle apron with some of the fabrics I have once I've done the quilt.
Oh, nice.
As the border will make beautiful sections for the strips and ties. I'm still thinking of other options too. Linda's saying she's got no YouTube. I'm going to get SJ just to double check the tech there, but that was all ticking along nicely earlier. So maybe refresh that one. I was going to say maybe switch it off. We do get this sometimes. You just reload the page. Claire Angelina says she made a dress out of Macawa roses. It's actually Christmas fabric, but it's not obvious, so she can wear it all year round.
Yeah, that's nice.
We love that. And Sylv says, I quite like the stripes at the bottom. I think she means of the panel here, as a border.
Yes.
So could you add a matching rose and hubble to make the straps? That's what I'd be inclined to do anyway.
Yes, yeah.
I would be inclined to put plain for the straps.
Or red, I think, or it's the red. Or even the scarlet, because the scarlet's got a bit of an orangey tone to it, which would work quite well.
I was analysing this, and I was thinking even a neutral strap and a neck strap would be nice, and a neutral pocket.
With the beige or the ivory.
Yeah, I quite like one big neutral pocket as well, and then you could use these fabrics for something else, which would be great, and use all this. Yeah. And you'd have them to match, wouldn't you?
Yes,
so you could potentially have beautiful 2 projects out of that one panel.
Yeah. Nice.
We like a bit of frugling, Jane.
We do.
We do like a bit of frugling.
Last.
Absolutely.
Getting the most out for your money. Good value.
Absolutely. Something else that's good value is our craft corner. Yes. It's been going very well, hasn't it?
They like the sparkles. Well, we all like our sparkles. I like a bit of sparkle.
And so for those of you who aren't familiar with Craft Corner, Natasha has managed to purchase an amazing amount of stock. We don't have a huge quantity of anything, so you might find there's only 5, 10, 15 of a particular item. And it was at ridiculous prices. So rather than listening to me or anyone with some business acumen and putting it at the price that it's really worth, she said, oh, we can pass it on at fabulously cheap prices and everyone will be really happy, because she is a crafter first.
Yes.
Well, a sparkly fan second, and somewhere in the back,
she's a
she
business
tries
lady,
to be a business lady, but she is a crafter.
I think she appreciates the potential, doesn't she?
She really does. She really does. So something that we do have are ribbon sliders. I know last week were really, really popular. So you have a pack of 4 ribbon sliders. I'm just going to go actually across to the close-up because I've got one out. She says, close up. Come on. It is. Look, it's thinking about it. See how it's gone grey?
Yeah.
Don't mind me, everybody. We'll get there. There we go. We'll get there in the end.
Really pretty.
So this I love, and yes, ribbon slider. Also, she says, come on, just focus on something other than my fingers would be good. We focus on the ribbon slider. Look at it. Or the sewing machine. Yeah.
There it is.
There it is. It takes a little while.
Yeah.
That's what we wanted, camera, yes. So as well as used as a ribbon slider, you could pop this with a scarf, make a scarf ring. I think they're absolutely gorgeous. So we have those. We also have, Jane, I'm going to get you to take it out of the packet because I've got a nasty feeling the plastic is going to grab all the lights. We also have the most amazing embellishment. Now we have a kit which has brooch backs, hair clips, all sorts of things on it. Thanks, Jane. And I just think, would this not make the most stunning brooch?
Can you imagine having these, and if you put fishing wire on the back of them and hanging them from your tree?
SJ, could you check for me? I've got a horrible feeling we've got these at some ridiculously silly price. That's pence. I don't know whether she's listening, everybody, but for me, this appeals to all my little girl moments there.
Yeah, that's just beautiful, really sparkly.
It just looks like one of the crown jewels. It's gorgeous, but for me, that would be a fabulous thing to pop in your hair if you popped a hair clip on the back.
Yeah,
for gorgeous updo at Christmas. But yeah, you could make a stunning brooch. Are they pence? They're something silly. 99p, aren't they? Because I looked at this twice this morning and thought, what have we done there? Because that's not right. Because look, it's huge. Not being funny, 99p. Once those are gone, they're gone. You might want to buy multiples of those, I would.
Pack of 4 is only £3.50.
Yeah, and the pack of 4 of these is £3.50. Come on now, dear me. And as we say, these, this isn't a sales pitch, everybody, but once these are gone, they are gone. It's a public service announcement.
Yes.
Because we have had some of you who've popped things in your basket to have a think about it, and then they've gone. And we've had lovely emails saying, I'm so remorseful, I really need them. we just can't get any more.
No, they literally are.
And even if we ever did,
what we got is what we've got.
Even if we did, the trade price is probably higher than the retail well, it is higher than the retail price that we're bringing them to you at. So they would be at a totally different price. So we have those. We also have 2 new bundles.
Ooh.
Now these bundles, they're big boys, Jane.
Oh, cool.
So we've called these our large embellishment bundles. We have our large embellishment bundle in black. I'm going overhead for this one because we have many things to bring out. We have a bag of sparklers. Now they're Aurora Borealis ones, look, Jane, can you see?
Yeah, and there's different shapes in there, isn't there? There's coffin ones and circles and teardrops.
Yeah.
Ovals.
Absolutely.
Beautiful.
I'll let you have a twiddle with those, see if you can give them a little shimmy about while I'm... We've then got these, which have your dark stone in the middle and your little rhinestones around the outside. She's having loads of fun here.
Yeah,
scatter, scatter, scatter.
The squares, different sized teardrops there.
So these are bundles that we have made up of just fabulous things that we feel
beautiful. There's a whole selection
would be great for crafting.
Oh, they're pretty, aren't they?
Yep, look at these. And again, you know, you could put these into jewellery.
Yeah, if you've got earring backs, you could put those onto earrings, couldn't you?
I would imagine so. Or no, if not, you get a little clip and put a brooch, you know, hair clip. Please do not forget the amazing deal that, I know the peacock's so cute, the amazing deal that is the brooch back and hair clip bundle. Because that, I tell you, with all of these, you're going to never be stuck for a present.
Look at that lovely peacock.
Never going to be stuck for a gift, are you, with these in your stash? And some really fabulous adhesive. That's, you know, invest in some good adhesive.
Is this all one bundle?
Yes. This is all one bundle. And do you know, Jane, when we bought this stock before, you know, we'd have been putting out one of these sparklies for, say, you know, $4.99, $7.99, depending on the size of them. We also have an owl. This is the owl that Natasha's been wearing around her neck. He's cute. And we have one of these, which is one of the... We bond these around the back of a shoe. Natasha popped one around the back of one of her shoes, or a pair of her shoes. Yeah. So this bundle here, $9.99.
Wow.
I know.
That's amazing.
It's a little bit crazy, isn't it? Like
There's
I say,
so much you can do with all of those, isn't there? You know,
multiple gifts.
If you're a card maker or a crafter, you've got all these things.
Let's see if we can get a close-up look on the little.
He's beautiful on his own.
It's so difficult. Come on now. There we are. So difficult to get the camera to focus on some of these things, but they are fabulous. Come on, camera. There he is. I mean, who doesn't have a peacock? No one we know. Look at that.
That'll make a beautiful brooch.
I know. And that's just one item from this bundle. One.
It's worth $9.99.
I think so. It's adorable. These you have 2 of in there. Look at that.
Look at this little owl.
Oh, the little owl is the one that Natasha's been wearing.
Can't get into the pack of this. Can't see.
My hands are busy, so I can't see comments at the moment. I am anticipating quite a lot of love for the sparklies. I love that you get several of these as well, because they are beautiful.
There's a little owl.
Come on now, you just focus, camera. Should we try? Ah,
you can do it.
It keeps thinking about it, Jane. Come on.
Oh, nearly.
I think I might have to give up on that one.
No, it's not going to, is it?
It's not having any of it. It's too sparkly, I think. And this is the problem, is trying to get a focus on some sparklies. It likes that one better.
Yeah.
It doesn't like the black sparklies so much. It's not willing to focus on those. But you can see the size of these as well with my hand here. And yeah, there's your very, very sparkly owl that Natasha's been wearing. Young Emily has one of these as well on a little necklace. But there are many beautiful things there in that bundle.
Absolutely.
Once they're gone, they're gone. That's all we'll say.
Yeah, there's not many, I don't think, is there?
No. We have done our best with these to try and provide all the goodies.
And what's the description on this one?
This is the large embellishment bundle in black.
Super.
Okay. And again, the products that we're showing you, you will find on today's collection on the Watch Live page, or if you are clicking through to the Textile Tuesday page, same. They both go to the same place. The next embellishment bundle we've got is a pearl embellishment bundle.
Oh, pretty.
Now, when I had my wedding, gosh, 2009, I had a Hollywood Glamour pearls and sparkles theme for the evening do.
Yeah.
Of course I did. And everyone had to wear something sparkly or with pearls. So I'm a bit of a fan, truth be told.
My birthstone pearl is.
Is it?
Yeah.
Oh, Jane, how lovely. Right, let's give these a little scoot about. It's a big one, look.
Again, these would make nice earrings, wouldn't they, if you've got earring bags?
Yeah.
These little droplet ones, these little...
Oh, do you know what? For your card making, you doing card making, it's just fabulous for that.
Yeah.
Right, now we've got them out. Oh, go in the overhead and have a little peep.
Is it going to do it?
She says. Jane, you're watching me do this. You're watching
I can see it happening and the screen not playing.
Many, 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 many things. So we have your teardrop shapes here with a larger teardrop shape with this lovely oval. Little pack of these. These are cute. These are hearts, aren't they, Jane?
Yeah.
Hearts with your pearls in. I love the flower.
I don't know, the jewellery makers among you, would you be able to make a necklace with that?
The jewellery makers among us will be going, pardon? Because this bundle, like the other one, is also $9.99.
That's pretty. That's like a heart shape with the pearls.
Lovely.
Again, with the brooch back on there.
We'll go into close-up and have a little peep at some of the things. Play with that camera again, see if we can get it to focus.
That's lovely.
She says, there we are. Come on. I'm doing this now for the idea of scale as much as anything else, Jane, because it does not want to focus on all the sparkly wondrousness. Come on. There we are. Look at that.
Yeah, it's just...
And we could spend ages going through all the items in every bundle. But
just show that one. Just
show that one, Gemma. Show that one.
It's not going to, is it?
You're throwing that one around.
My hands are so big. There we go.
Lovely.
That's just so pretty.
Really lovely. So those are new today as well. What we'll also be doing, as much as we possibly can, is adding to our bolt end sale. Because you're all loving a bolt end.
Izzy was busy yesterday.
Izzy was a busy Izzy.
Yeah, Izzy Wizzy, let's get busy.
She was very wizzy and busy.
She was weighing and measuring.
She was. So we have some loading to do, which is great.
Yeah, you love that, don't you? That's
I have nothing else to do.
World.
I love a bit of loading, but not when I've got all the other things in all the world to do.
Gemma's got lots of work to do.
Yes, and never more have I been the office octopus than this week.
Yeah, absolutely.
Something else just to mention, public service announcement, because I know some of you missed out and were disappointed, but the beautiful Christmas ribbons that we ordered for our show,
yes,
but that there Natasha stole last week when she'd got her ribbon sliders and set them live then.
Yes.
It's almost like she thinks she owns the place and can make these decisions. I don't know where she
gets that idea from.
We very cautiously loaded these, so we made sure that we loaded in 5 metre increments and then underloaded by what we thought was 5 metres. Some of them we've got a full 5 metres left, so I've loaded the last 5 metre bundle on there.
Yeah.
Some of them we were wise to load up differently, you know, and knock 5 metres off because the rolls come up small. We do cut generously. They're not always generous in loading a roll of ribbon, are they?
No.
So what we've done with the ribbons, and I'll show you a few now, is we've got some 5 metre pieces where there was a whole 5 metres left, and where there wasn't, we've loaded them by the metre. Okay, so the reason we mention these in particular is we have some gnomes, Jane. We do. We have some lovely gnomes. Look at that. This is our woodland gnome.
Does it not? Do you think we'll get it close
we'll get them lined out and then we'll have a little look. So yeah, woodland gnome. We then have our enchanted forest.
That's beautiful.
Really beautiful.
Just toadstools.
Gorgeous, isn't it? We have our fox friends. Got a full 5 metres of fox friends, but that's it.
Grass grain ribbon, isn't it?
Gorgeous. Gorgeous, gorgeous. Yes, as is We've got some lovely...
Oh, ugly jumpers.
blue multi-Christmas jumpers.
These would be great also for Christmas jumpers with, wouldn't they?
In the white. No room for all of this, Jane. So yes, we have our lovely Christmas jumpers. Not ugly jumpers. Jane.
That's what they call them in America.
And then there's also some lovely friends. Look at these. Festive pets.
Oh.
I know. Hello, festive pets.
They're cute.
I know. So as well as those, we do have some others. There are some beautiful metallics.
I love those with the stag and the fox and the hare. They're beautiful.
But we do know, in fact, we'll go to close-up for these. We do know that some of you were very disappointed. So she says, I'm going to stop pressing the button in a minute and give it to you to press Jane, because it might actually pay attention to you.
I don't know that it'll do anything different for me. I think it's just got one on it.
It has got one on it, I think, yes. This is Wildwood, over in smoked grey/silver. We also have Reindeer Flight. I love this. This is petrol and gold.
I love that colour.
Stunning, isn't it? And then, yes, the Wildwood there in the red. Did you want to show the gnomes on close-up, Jane?
Yeah.
You're a bit of a fan, aren't you?
I love this. This is such good fun. You see that? You see them?
Really cute.
They're lovely.
Really,
good
really,
fun. And
really,
you
really
know,
cute.
They're not Christmas, are they? They're any time, but they would work Christmas as well. Wrapping parcels.
Really cute.
Trimming
and
things.
Then a few more toadstools as well.
Yeah, lovely.
Really sweet. Really lovely. All the lovely things. We've shown many lovely things now. I think
we do get lots of lovely things.
We ought to have a look at some gnomes, Jane. I think that's the thing, because you've been a bit gnome busy, haven't you?
I have. Well, we got
Getting
the book,
your gnome
didn't
on.
we? Should we get the book
did
down?
Get the book.
Quilted Gnomes for Your Home.
We did. While you're getting the book ready and before we go into overhead on the book, thank you very, very much to one of our lovely viewers. You'll have noticed that we do have our gorgeous display with our gnomes, don't we?
Yes.
Because we do have a viewer who's a bit of a gnome expert / gonk expert. So she sent me some notes.
Oh, lovely.
And dressed our set with these,
yes.
Which is just gorgeous. She makes these, you know, she's very clever. I noticed Auntie Lizzie Crangle had spotted them and said, I do like these. So do we. We love them. But Nikki Coupland, if anyone does want one of these gnomes, she makes them. And she tells us the first mention of a gonk dates back as far as 1600 in Norway and possibly even as early as the 13th century.
Wow.
A well-known motif of Nordic folklore, the gonk is part protector, part elf on a shelf. He is well known. Oh, hang on. He's said to safeguard a home from evil or harm. I like the sound of that.
Yeah.
But he tends to have a short temper and is known to be quite mischievous. I know some people like that.
Mm-hmm.
The Scandies have long been decorating their homes with these quirky, stumpy gnomes, and this year it appears the trend is reaching out shores now too. Steeped in centuries-old tradition, gonks are said to protect homes throughout the winter solstice and festive season. Called tomte in Swedish, nissa in Norway and Denmark, and tontu in Finnish, gonks usually have short, squat bodies, pointy hats that cover their eyes, together with cute bulbous noses and long white beards.
Amazing.
Thank you, Nikki.
That's lovely, Nikki. Thank you. And thank you for loaning us your beautiful
They
makes.
are beautiful. I feel
set.
One of them, because they're hiding a little bit behind our logo. I feel one of them needs to have a little home just at the front. I think he can sit there looking beautiful, can't he?
He's lovely.
There he is. Excellent.
There we go.
But she clearly loves the gnome as we do, perhaps even a little more, being as she makes these gorgeous things.
And they've all got their own little personality. Everyone's different, which is really lovely.
Okay, but we have this book, don't we?
We do, and it's an Annie's quilting book, so we know we're going to get good value. We've got 9 designs in there, 9 patterns, for the amazing price of.
Shall I double, triple check? Because I'm doing that thing now where in my head I know what it is, but in practice, every time I get an Annie's quilting book, I go, it can't be that much. It's got to be. It's got to be more.
They are such good value. These books.
I hate how I doubt myself constantly with this.
I know, but sometimes you're just like, is it? Yeah, it is. Absolutely.
It's here. Look, there it is. $7.99.
$7.99.
You see, in my head, I'm going, what if it's $9.99 and you say $7.99 and it's not? It's $7.99. That's
amazing value. As I say, you get 9 designs in here.
You do?
9 projects, different styles, different finishes, from quilting, the one that I've done for behind us.
Did we miss anything at the start? No, we didn't.
Start straight there. There's one
Lovely.
there with a little bit of a plique on. That would make a beautiful children's quilt. There's a table runner with the little gnomes.
You wanted to make this one, didn't you, Jane?
Yeah.
There were several that Jane wanted to make. She'd
I
have made everything in the book.
Here. Another table runner, particularly for your outside garden. You know, your outside table. Look at this one. This is the one that I put on the front, on the front of the apron.
Gnome Appetit.
It's for a pot holder. But as I did, you can adapt that little applique. All the templates are to size, which is really lovely. There's table mats there, look.
They're adorable, aren't they?
This is the Go Big or Go Gnome, which we're going to look at later.
We are.
There's some little embroideries there, felt embroideries. So there's something for everybody in here. And this one, I really wanted to make this, but we couldn't have put a kit together. So, but it's done on a wooden spool.
It is.
With felt. I mean, we have our felt, don't we? We have the felt.
Yes. So. And that's the thing. So with the previous page as well, where we had the embroideries, Jane.
Yeah.
There's felt elements to these as well. And you don't get much more beautiful felts than the felt that we stock for the House of Zandra toys. So I've tagged all of those in today. I'd say crab/lobster would be the perfect one for here.
Yeah.
But if you want any guidance regarding which felts to put together for a make like this, then please just give us a shout. We'll happily help with that.
They're beautiful, aren't they? And they're done. They're just in frames. You know, your needlecraft frames.
Just lovely. I feel Nikki needs these on display in her workroom.
Absolutely. And then it's got the Quilting Basics, so there's a bit about your binding there and all of the things that you need to know. All of the patterns that use a different technique, like the gnomes all around. It's a foundation piece pattern, but all of the information about how the technique is there. There's information about raw edge applique, which is on the next page for this one. All the help that you need. The instructions are really clear. All the templates are to size, so there's none of this having to work out where you're going to go to get it enlarged.
Absolutely.
Everything is to scale.
So a little bit of template plastic would come in handy here, wouldn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. And, you know, all the tips for the embroidery there, all the stitches, different types of stitches that you'll need is all there. So it's a really lovely book to have. It's the sort of book I think that you probably dip back into time and time again for different ideas. Even if it's not the actual quilt itself, you just might want a refresher on different types of technique and things. So it's all there.
Absolutely. And if we go through each product as, you know, with the kits that we've got as well, Jane, that'd be really great. So we've got gnomes all around first, haven't we?
Yeah. This is the one that we've got behind me that we've put together. I made that one.
Just switch so we can have a little peep at that for a moment. But yes, now this is, in the book, this is declared to be an easy project.
It is an easy project.
It is FPP.
It's the actual gnomes themselves, this part here, is foundation paper pieced, but it's not complicated foundation piece. There's 3 templates, and you can see that one is just 2 pieces. The most is this one, which has 5 pieces on. But what you get with foundation paper piecing is you get that accuracy.
Yes.
And when you've got small pieces that you've got to put together on the hat, it's just these little two little pieces there. It just gives you that accuracy with your piecing.
Sure.
There's nothing actually to stop you tracing these off and making them into templates and putting them together that way if you really don't like foundation piecing.
I do like the way this has gone together though, because it looks like an origami effect here, doesn't it? It looks like it's
the
folded.
Of the hat.
Lovely. Yeah. It's really nice, and I don't know whether that comes across quite so well on the screen, but I've loaded the picture up of the one that Jane's made onto the product page that you can have a look at. We have rather recklessly priced everything today because it's our gnome show.
We can do it ourselves.
These kits are phenomenally good price, but maybe we ought to have a look at what's in that kit.
Yes.
And then
we have got, there's a piece of Moda in here. It's a metre piece of Moda, which I've used for the binding and the outside border. It's from the Prairie Rose, isn't it?
Yeah, Paisley Rose by Crystal Manning for Moda. Yeah, lovely ferns.
Then we've got a little bit of turquoisey, was that Mystic Vine, that pattern, I think it's called. And we've got a bit of bumbleberries in the red, which I used for the hats.
That's the post box red, isn't it? That one, I think.
Yes, it is postbox red.
I do love a bumbleberry.
Some of the yellow. That's a lovely bright yellow.
That's a flutter, isn't it?
Yeah, with the 2 greens.
Really nice.
And one of our plains, it's apple, I think. And some more, it's the emerald flutter. Some of our basic white. A bit of beige. Now, you've got a long 1/8 of beige here. You need it for the noses and the nose. It's a question if you're going to use 1 inch of it.
No, exactly.
So, you know, we've been generous with the kits. And the same with the blues. You've got a long 1/8 of the 4 blue colourways. You probably won't even use half of it. So
no, because that's literally just their little bodies, isn't it?
Their little bodies, yeah.
Oh, so you're going to have loads left over.
It's a generous kit. There's plenty in there. You might even be able to make 2 of your gnomes. 2 lots of gnomes.
Yeah.
Not the borders and everything else are more, you know, in line with the instructions for the kit. But that's a lovely kit. And look at those colours there. Even if you didn't want to make the quilt, you've got a lovely selection of colours for your stash.
This is a fantastic stash builder, like you know, like you say, it's brilliant.
There's some lovely colours in there, nice primary colours. I can see this on my garden table.
Yes,
but
and
it won't be on my garden table because it belongs to Natasha. But it could be on Natasha's garden table.
It could.
It's lovely and summery, I think. It's a really nice project.
You've put a lovely bundle here together, Jane. You've chosen these really beautifully.
Yeah, we had fun choosing the colours. It was nice.
They should come to $42.99 for that bundle.
Yeah.
What happened when I said to you, Jane, yesterday, what price shall I put this one at? And what did you say? Well, ideally, wouldn't it be great if it was this?
Yes.
$34.99. I did that.
She's so naughty.
Yeah, wow.
So naughty.
Why not?
Why not?
Let's do that.
Let's do it when you've got fun.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, Natasha's not here, so.
She's not here.
So that's what we've done.
And then I had a play with the applique because I just love him. Because I love baking, as many of you know.
Oh, you do. She's amazing.
I just couldn't resist him. And I thought, well, he'd look rather nice on our easy peasy apron. So I'll have a go at Matt to hold it up.
Yep, I've got it. I've twigged.
So you've actually got in here, you've got an adaptation of the requirements in so much as you've got 1 metre of our extra wide calico. So you could make an apron if you wish to. You've got 1/2 metre of the, it's called tartan, isn't it?
It is.
It's a check, it's lovely. It's
a
the
lovely
red and
check.
green. It's sort of Christmassy, but not, so, you know, you could use it all year round. I'm just trying to look in the pattern here, how much you need for, I'm just looking. Oh, it says 1/8 of a yard of red, grey, white stripe, and that's for the pot holder.
Yes.
So you've got 1/2 metre here. So you've got enough to do, like I did, the edges of the pocket on the apron.
Let's come
and
in
the
so
edge of the top of the apron. I also just adapted Natasha's pattern slightly, and instead of doing eyelets with the rope through, I made straps for the top and for the ties at the back. And you would still have enough left of this to make the pot holder if you wished.
It's a lovely big pocket as well.
So you could make the apron and the pot holder, because we've put the fabric in the amount that you need. Well, a little bit extra, I think. Yeah, we've put a long 1/4 in, and it's at a fat 1/8. So you could make 2 placemats, pot holders, whatever you wanted. Gifts for friends that you know that like to cook. You could make them a pot holder like that and put together, you know, with a wooden spoon and a little set of some cookie cutters or something.
Gorgeous.
It'd be lovely, wouldn't it?
Gorgeous. I've done similar things for my godchildren. It's just lovely to give them, you know, a more full gift where you've made something and we've put, you know, cake mixes and things together or
if you really,
chocolate chips.
A lot of these, we've got 5-inch squares of the applique pieces. I think the only one that you might have to be careful how you cut it if you wanted to make 2 is the fabric for the body. Everything else you quite easily get 2.
But you could substitute with a different one, couldn't you?
I was going to say you could use something else.
Of course you could. Of course you could.
So it's a really lovely kit there that would make, as I say, I think it would make the apron and the pot holder.
And for me, this particular bundle is exceptional value because we've got all of this here for $19.99.
That's amazing.
So
it's
this
a metre piece of calico. Shall we show them?
Big old piece. Well, the calico's there on the roll, isn't it?
You can see.
And we have this by the 1/2 metre as well.
This is double folded, so you can see.
It's a big old piece, isn't it?
It's double folded calico. It's a nice weight.
Should we lift the bolt? Here.
You're going to do that?
Yeah. Let's do this. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Oh.
Yep, there we go.
Strongman moment. But it's double folded.
It's double folded. It's a nice weight calico. It's quite strong, so it makes nice. You could make a Santa sack, couldn't you, with the gnome on the front?
You could. Be really cute.
It'd be lovely.
Really cute.
You know, it's a nice calico, good quality, nice weight, nice and strong.
Lovely.
And I like to use calico on the back of my quilts as well, particularly if it's going to be one that I'm going to use more as a wall hanging, when you're not going to see it so much. Calico works really nicely as a quilt backing, especially because it's that extra width.
Yeah. Brilliant.
And so I'm going to.
It was really difficult to choose, wasn't it?
Yeah.
So you made 3 things.
I did.
So the gnomes all around. This here, which well, if people do want to make a pot holder, I've put the insulated wadding on our page as well today.
Yeah.
Perfect for pot holders, or even, you know, if you want placemats and things, it's great to have the insulated wadding there to protect the table.
Yeah,
nice to work with as well. I think a lot of people don't know what they're getting into with certain products and just stay where they're comfortable.
But the insulated wadding works just the same way as an ordinary wadding. Yeah. It's got a crinkle to it because you've got that metallic film.
That's really nice. It's like the baby toys, isn't it? The baby books. It's got that lovely crinkle. But yes,
and we've got another kit for the big or go gnome.
Go big or go gnome, Jane. That's what we're doing today. We are going big or going gnome.
It's a big quilt. Its finished size is 74 by 64 inches. If you look on this page here, that's half of it.
Wow.
So it's like 12 blocks altogether of the there you go. You can see how the layout there. It's a really nice block to make, very straightforward, very simple. The hardest thing on this is just keeping track of your cutting.
Yeah.
Labelling. Post-it notes are your friend here, because you've got a lot of pieces that are sort of like, they're either 2 inches or 2.5, so they're very similar looking at first sight. So.
And it's a confident beginner make, isn't it? So the other one was an easy make, the one that's on the wall behind us, and this is a confident beginner make. And you're getting a huge amount of fabric again.
Yeah, I think it's 4.5 metres, is it, of the
grey?
Of the grey. This is our light grey, number 70.
It's over 7 metres of fabric altogether.
Yeah. You've got your white, our plain white, which is lovely. And then we've got some linen effect in emerald it is, and poppy. They've used the green for the binding on the quilt as well, so we've gone with the same amount so that you could bind it with the green. And then we've got the red for the hats, and then there's a fat quarter here of pink, which you only need for the noses, so you're going to have quite a lot of the pink left over for the square on there. It's only a small square that you need for the pink.
Perfect.
So that's enough to make that quilt. I'm going to show you how
over 7 metres of fabric, Jane, under £50.
That is a bargain. That's amazing.
We went $49.99 on this kit because we want it to be accessible to everybody. Yes. We are able to do it. And the book at $7.99 and these kits at the value they're at, there's a lot to be made.
You pay more than $7.99 for one pattern,
wouldn't
you?
Yeah, absolutely, especially for a quilt pattern.
Yes,
you know, you regularly see quilt patterns at, you know, $12.99 and more. We always try and keep ours really well priced and accessible, but yeah, to get 9 different projects in a book, and beautifully photographed book as well, with really great detailed instructions.
Yes.
And the detail on the technique as well.
It's a quality of instruction that you get with Annie's quilts.
Sure.
Quilting. The books are really good. As I say, they've got the extra bits for people who might be, you know, trying techniques for the first time. So there's a little bit more information about techniques and things.
Sure.
So yeah, it's a lovely.
It's just gorgeous, isn't it?
Yeah.
I love this quilting as well.
Yeah, this is
swirly whirly quilt. I don't know whether we can see the swirly whirly quilting.
Yeah, I think it's long arm. It's been long arm quilting, and probably for a quilt this size, you might want to take the time and invest to get it long arm quilted, because it's quite a big quilt. But it's also the size that you could do on your machine at home. I've done quilts that size on my domestic machine, so it's not, you know, over facing.
And it, you know, it's a classic, isn't it?
Yeah.
Really nice and neutral. So if you
it's
do
a lovely,
have someone who has quite a modern house,
really effective.
Yeah. If we know someone with a modern house and you want to do something for them that's really contemporary, that will go with their house, perfect.
So I've done one block, but I thought I'd go through the technique and show you how quickly it goes together.
Lovely. While you're just laying your bits and pieces out, Jane, we'll just see if anyone's asked us anything.
Yeah.
Because, you know, it's all been going on. Claire Angelina was saying about the sparklies that she would have grabbed some of those for the jewels on her crochet Jubilee crown.
Yes, they would have worked perfectly.
Absolutely. Elizzy Crangle says hers are going on a tree.
Yes. Yeah.
Oh, Ali Barton is watching and playing with Barney. He's in puppy mood.
Oh.
Gorgeous. Donna is loving the sparkly things. Sylv says that the ribbons are totes adorbs.
Absolutely.
And you can take that as high praise indeed.
Yes.
Oh, Gerardine says it's taken me ages to place my order. I couldn't remember my password. Hopefully you're all okay now.
Dear.
Lizzie Crangle says, do we have a link to the webpage for the gnomes, Gemma? No, I don't. But for the lovely, these beautiful friends, Nikki Coupland, and you'll have seen her commenting through our Facebook feed, and she's one of us.
Yes,
she's a regular commenter. But if you do want to get your details passed on to her, then you could pop something across to info@natashamakes.com and we'll get that across to her.
Yeah, we'll find out.
Morning, Jane and Gemma. We'll have to watch later as I'm off for a drive. Afternoon tea she's going. That's Chris Cresswell.
Oh, how nice.
Lovely.
Enjoy, Chris. How lovely.
Elizabeth Crangle says, I have some of the calico. It feels lovely. Nikki doesn't have a web page. She's only small, she says.
Oh, bless her.
But yes, to give her a message. There you go. There she is. Click on there. Message her straight across. Perfect.
Yes.
Ah, brilliant. Oh, Cass says, Christmas already? I'm only just getting over the last one. We said, Cass, a gonk/gnome is for life, not just for Christmas.
Yes. I don't know. Some of you are of a similar age to me. And when I did the gnomes all around, I said to Inga, because we're similar age, Inga and I said to Inga, do you remember Michael Bentine's Potty Time? And those gnomes there, they just remind me of the gnomes that used to be
I did the really gonky thing.
gonky little characters.
Yes.
There'll be ladies on here that know about Michael Bentine's Potty Time.
I did the really vacant expression thing, didn't I, that SJ
Gemma's
does
too
so
young.
often.
Yeah.
So SJ won't know either.
Gemma knows how SJ feels now when we make references to things that she's got no idea what we're talking about. It's such a straightforward, simple block. It's all made with rectangles and squares.
Look at that.
So straightforward. Your stripology ruler would be ideal for this project because you're cutting lots of strips. As I said, the thing to do, there's a lot of cutting, and the projects in here. It's Wendy Shepherd that's designed this one.
Oh,
she's been very good, and she's put letters. So from each piece that you cut, there's a letter number.
Wonderful.
And then on the instructions, you can see immediately which letter it is that goes with which piece to make the strip.
Brilliant.
And it's a full layout at the front there. So it really is just following the pattern and making your strips. And then you add I did quite a lot of finger pressing with this just because it's a very short seam and for quickness.
And you have got your magic fingers.
Well, so they say.
You do,
There's
Jane.
no seam matching either, which I thought was, great for a beginner.
Of course.
There's no additional worry there. So this is the first strip. And then you've got long strips that you then attach them to into pairs. So you carry on making, you work it through, making each one into a pair. I'm just going to make sure I've got that the right way around, and I haven't.
Hang on. You're like a ninja, Jane. I keep trying to keep up with you.
It's just those first two, you have to make sure that you're the right way around.
Yes.
The others are symmetrical, so it doesn't matter. But just double check on that before you sew, because I did a couple of times sew the wrong side of the strip to the...
Well, that won't do, will it, Jane?
The piece. It's just slightly frustrating when you have to unpick it again.
Sure. We've all done it, though. None of us perfect, dear. None of us perfect.
No, and it wouldn't do for us all to be perfect.
No.
be boring. The world would be boring.
I think sometimes when you make a mistake in a project and you correct it, it almost makes the finished result more of an achievement. You feel more
Are you able
satisfied.
to pop the iron on for me, Gemma?
Yeah, of course.
I'm going to be really cheeky. If I sew, will you press?
Yes. Of course
if you
I
press
will.
that towards, I found it easier to press it towards the straight strip. So I had it that way up, pressed it, and then it's
The iron's not hot yet. Come on, iron.
yeah, usually it heats up really well, but because today we want it to heat up quite quickly, it's not going to. And of course, if you're making the full size quilt, you could do each block, you could chain piece each strip, so you'd have them all, you know, pieced together quite quickly if you did it with the chain piecing method.
Yes.
I'll just check on this one. It's that way round. That's it. Of course, with Natasha's Super Whizzy machine, these seams get sewn together in no time.
It is super whizzy as well. That's the TL, isn't it?
Yeah. I pass you that one.
Okay for you?
Thank you. That's wonderful.
Lovely.
I'll pop them up here as I do them, and then we can see how they start to come together. And then, as I say, by the time you get to the third strip set, you're working symmetrically, so you don't have to worry too much whether you've got it the right way round. As long as you remember that you're sewing your strip to the bottom of the strip of the pieced strips. But when they're symmetrical, it doesn't really matter, because you can just flip that up the other way should you have sewn it the wrong way round. It comes together really quickly. It's quite, once you've done the cutting and made sure you've labelled everything and you know, double checked all your measurements, because as I say, some of them are quite similar and it's very easy to get them muddled up. It actually comes together very quickly. Fabulous, thank you. So
Keep trying to stay out of the camera. Whenever I'm changing the camera angles, I'm trying to stay away so we're not watching me pressing, because that's not exciting at all.
It's quite a mindful project, because it's so I don't want to use the word monotonous, because monotonous is sort of associated with boring, isn't it? But it is. It's you get into a rhythm with it, and you'll find
sometimes that's just the project you want, though, isn't it?
And you will make this quilt, and as I say, it'll go together quite quickly, and it's quite, you make quite a large block, so it makes quite a large quilt. So you could look at the pattern and decide you might want not to do it as big. You might only want to make 9 blocks from it, and maybe make one of the blocks into a cushion to go with, or 2 cushions. I think once you've got the block made, you can see potential for other ideas, which is rather nice. We keep looking at the door, don't we? Hopefully, wishing,
I know.
wistfully hoping that this lovely gnome fabric is going to arrive.
Normally we hope that there's not going to be a delivery during the show,
want the
but
noise.
right now
we'd love one.
we really would.
Did you watch the closing ceremony of the Commonwealth Games?
No, I was at my craft club.
Oh, of course you were, yes.
Yes.
It was just so lovely.
Was it fabulous?
Yeah. And there was a surprise visit from Ozzy Osbourne at the end. Which
Oh, was that?
I think
Brilliant.
was rather lovely. Excuse me.
Sweet. Shimmy, shimmy like this.
Yeah.
Is that all right?
That's lovely.
Yeah, that's coming along. Building.
It does come together really quickly.
Oh, Judy Rogers remembers Michael Benteen, so does Elizabeth Crangle.
Yes.
Kirsty Robson says, Aussie!
Yeah. He lived for a while in the village next to ours.
Oh, really?
And Glenn met him the once.
In the pub?
Coming out of the pub.
There we go.
And he admired Glenn's motorbike at the time.
Oh.
So that's Glenn's claim to fame.
Of course it is. Amazing.
Ozzy Osbourne liked his bike. Yeah. So you can see as Gemma's placing those down, you can start to see how it comes together.
Well, you can if I haven't just switched the camera angle across to see you sewing, Jane.
Oh, right. That's exciting.
Oh, this is the mini beast that Jane's using right now. This is our TL 2020 limited platinum edition.
It whizzes together.
It really does.
Right, so with that strip, that's the majority of the hat made. So we can put those together in pairs now. Now, I think it's important to lay them out so that you can see, particularly those first two ones with the little square in. If you wouldn't mind pressing.
No, it's fine.
Those. And again, I pressed it to the long side. I think pressing it to the plain strip with no piecing in, it just makes it sit flatter.
Sure.
Because it's not going against any seam.
Oh, Elizabeth Crangle says, I had a Christmas card from the Osbournes that disappeared from my house.
Oh.
Oh.
That's no good, is it?
No. Jane?
Lovely. So, and then once you've got the pairs sewn together, you can then into fours. You can then sew the fours together and so on. While Gemma's very diligently pressing that, I'm going to talk about the next stage, and you're going to need to draw your across the diagonals. I'm going to reach across you, Gemma, and just grab
move the iron out the way.
A marker. If there is one in.
What do you want, a permanent one or a fadey one?
Fadey one, there it is. Now I've only got the big ruler because I didn't bring the little one through, but that's okay, it still works. And particularly for a small square like this, I always mark from the middle outwards so that I don't stretch my square out of shape. I think also, you know, you want to really treat your fabric with your best press, flatter, because you have got some very small pieces in this, so you just want to be careful that, you know, you've got them stabilised and they're not going to go out of shape. You're going to place the little square in the corner of the pink and sew on the line towards the middle, so from the outside edge towards the long edge of the rectangle that you've cut. I'm just losing the foot's decided to go for a walk under the table.
Run off?
Yeah.
Head into the calf, Jane.
Yeah, know how it feels. So you're going to just sew on the line there, and then what you'll do is with your rotary cutter and your 1/4 inch mark on your ruler, you'll just line that 1/4 inch mark up with your sewn line and just trim that little corner off. Now even I don't think it's worth trying to keep that a tiny little piece of fabric.
And you've got to use for most things, haven't you?
In my rubbish. And I'm just going to,
these here.
yeah, I'm just going to press that back with my finger, just pushing it back so that it reforms the rectangle. And then I'm going to place the second square again in that corner, opposite corner, with the diagonal line facing towards the middle. And we're going to do exactly the same, sew on the line. And again, just trim that corner away, 1/4 inch from that sewn line, just trimming that corner off, and then pressing that back into shape to form the rectangle. I'll just use my fingers in this instance.
Do you want to squash with the iron?
No, I'll just do that. And then I'm going to sew the 2 rectangles of white either side. So you've recreated a rectangle with the corners of your pink it is that we've used for the nose. I did think about going darker, but I think it's just nice. It's a nice subtle pink which just gives the effect of the nose. I mean, you could have really good fun, couldn't you? You could make one of them with a red nose. Just one of them, and just dot it around in your quilt, and it would look quite good fun.
Really cute, yeah, definitely.
So once you've made that piece, that's your nose, that's the base of the nose, and you're going to sew a red strip that's the full length to the top of that one. Just make sure it is the top and not the bottom, otherwise it'll look quite strange.
Yeah, it will.
Oh, bless you.
Sorry, Jane. Sorry, everybody.
A little pixie sneeze. And we'll press that strip up and away from there, if you wouldn't mind, Emma.
No
Thank
problem.
you. And then we do the same, and this piece is for the beard at the bottom of the block. And we do the same thing. We've got 2 squares of the grey background fabric, and we mark across those squares along the diagonal from corner to corner. And these are bigger squares, so if you wanted to, if you didn't, you know, I do this thing when I've got a big square and I'm going to sew on the line to create a half square triangle. I will mark. This is nothing to do with the pattern. This is just something I do just to prevent me just having a load of half square triangles that I probably will never do anything with. Just 1/2 inch away from that line, placing that into the bottom of the rectangle. No, don't panic and think, oh no, I haven't cut the squares long enough. They just fit into the bottom, and there is 1/2 inch short.
I'm glad you said that, Jane, because the rest of the world we would have gone, oh no.
Well, I'm not going to lie, when I first did it I was like, oh my goodness, I think I've cut that wrong. And then realised that no, I hadn't, and the pattern was perfectly right and everything was okay. So I will sew on both of those lines that I've marked.
Oh, Karen Evans joined us and she says, I've just made my first ever garment, the wraparound trousers in Cafe Tree Fungi fabric. So chuffed.
Oh, I bet they look fabulous.
I bet they do as well.
And then I'm going to, as before, I'm going to line up my 1/4 inch mark on the sewn line on the diagonal and cut through. And because I've sewn on both of those lines, that's actually cut through what would normally be scrap, but actually because I've sewn that now, That's a half square triangle that I can put into my stash, and I'm more likely to use that as a piece than I am if I've got 2 scraps of triangle in my bag.
Perfect.
So again, we press that back, taking care not to stretch it because you are working on a bias. Press that back into the rectangle shape, and then place the other square in the opposite corner with the diagonal facing in towards the long side of the rectangle that you've cut. Just cut that through. Just put that to one side for another day, because it's nothing to do with the pattern, it's just me being frugal with my fabric. Press that back, and then we attach that part to the bottom of that strip set there.
There he is. He's come together really quickly.
So he does. He comes together beautifully and very quickly. As I say, the biggest thing with this pattern is the cutting, and it's just really a case, it's not complicated cutting, it's just keeping tag of what piece is where and which. And so
little labels,
post-it notes, little label,
and quilters clips, I would say, to attach those post-its, or little plastic bags, one or the other.
Would you mind pressing
of course
that, please? And while you're doing that, I'm going to attach these 4s together. Lovely. I'll attach that one to there. Lovely, thank you.
No problem.
And then we'll attach that beard part to the base of what is effectively the hat effect. And that doesn't take very long at all to make that block.
No, not at all. That's come together really, really quickly, Jane.
So you'd make all of your gnome blocks, and there is so many that you make in red and so many that you make in green. The process is exactly the same. The quilt, you know, it gives you exactly what to cut from which one. It's very straightforward. So then you've got your cornerstone block, which is this little tiny 9 patch that sits between and on the corners of your quilt in the sashing.
Oh, well, that's sweet. Anyway, if it'll change and show everybody, that's a nice little block on its own, isn't it?
Yes, it's really sweet.
Really lovely.
So again, you've got a large square of your white and then 2 small squares of your background, and you're going to mark the diagonal line on the 2 small squares, corner to corner.
Oh, while you're marking, Jane, we've got some YouTube interaction. Hello, YouTubers.
Hello, YouTuber.
Diane says, morning all, wonder what shenanigans you'll get up to today. Diane, quite a lot.
Yes.
Quite a lot we have.
Talk about while the cat's away.
Yes, crazy discounts on that Lewis and Irene gingerbread collection. These quilt kits to go with our Annie's quilting book are silly prices, as are the craft corner items. So yes, lovely. Ali says, good morning, apologies for the late arrival. She's just finished cleaning down the grain store, Jane.
Oh, gosh,
Harvest
that's
22
a job and a half.
I know, Harvest 22 is finished at home, just 300 acres elsewhere. Bless her, she's hoping it'll all be over by Sunday. She's loving gnomes in August, but she asks a very August appropriate question.
Yes.
Festival of Quilts.
Yes.
She's never been before. Which is the best day and what is a must-see, she says?
Gosh, it's hard to know which is the best day. I would say a weekend maybe, because they have the coach parties on the Thursday and the Friday, so it can get quite busy.
Oh, you'd think the weekend would be busier. That's a top tip.
The quilting groups get together with coach parties and it can be quite a little bit more busier. I think the Festival of Quilts have taken last year, when we still got some of the restrictions on, they've got wider aisles and more space. That's and good. I think they've carried it on this year. So I think it's still going to be quite nice to get round and quite straightforward. I think you want to look at the quilts, really. It's an international quilt festival. They get people from all over the world putting quilts into exhibit at the Festival of Quilts. So you get a very good quality, a wide range of techniques and styles. You get 3D elements, you get embroideries, you also have designers doing exhibitions as well, so it's not just the competition quilts, you'll get exhibitions done by specific designers. The last time I went, Sandy Lush had done an exhibition and she does amazing hand quilting, and it was just lovely to just be absorbed in all her work in the one area. There's so much to see, it really is. And even on the stall holders will do demonstrations and things that's really nice to watch. So I think it's about pacing yourself, and it's very easy to get overwhelmed by it because there's so much to see.
Comfy shoes.
Yeah, definitely comfy shoes. Definitely comfy shoes, and water. Take your water with you to keep yourself hydrated. But there's nice food halls there as well, and they're not, you can go to some exhibitions, can't you, and the food halls are very expensive. But they're not great. They're a reasonable price. So, and the food's nice as well. So yeah, it's a really lovely day out.
We're going, aren't we, Jane?
Yeah, we're going on Sunday.
We are going on the Sunday. John Cole Morgan's going to be there every day.
Oh, amazing.
Every day. So if you do want to go and try and spot a few people, you'll
Yes,
find that John will be bouncing around like Tigger.
People, yeah.
He's easy to spot. Yes. Jane and I are a little bit more we're just wandering around and we're busy looking at the quilt.
But if you do see us, do come and say hi. Don't feel that you can't come and talk to us, because it's lovely, and I always want to see what you've bought.
Yes.
And we'd like to see what's in your shopping bags. So
we'll be the ones with the shopping bags as well.
I'll be like this one on my bag.
We can't help ourselves.
Yeah. So for these cornerstone blocks, we're going to place the square this time so that the diagonal line goes across the corner. So we're sort of cutting the corner off, as it were. So we're sewing on that diagonal line from edge to edge.
Oh, Jenny Totterdale says hopefully she might see us there, as she's going Sunday too.
Lovely.
Jo Standage is going Thursday. It's her first time.
Oh, you'll love it.
A fabulous time.
I think one of the other things as well is, because it's such a large festival, you get all of the sewing machine people there. We'll go and say hi to Gary, won't we, from the cheeky stand?
Yes, we will definitely go and say hi to them.
But you get to have a play on all the machines. So
perfect.
You see, and and quite often they'll have a little sort of like show discount, so you can get a bargain. So if you've got plans to go and get you're thinking, I need a new machine, going to somewhere like the Festival of Quilts is great, because you get to try all of the machines.
Yeah. Even if it's just something you're planning to do in 2 years' time or a year's time, you can go and do your research and see how, what you like. All sorts of equipment, actually, isn't it?
Yeah, lots of, and you'll see, time-saving gadgets and things that you don't know how you ever managed to live without when you see them demonstrated, and then you get them home and they stay in the bag for 3 years or more. So it's a wonderful thing, and you get traders that you wouldn't necessarily see at the more local shows, because it's such an international festival. You'll get traders from all over, which is really nice as well.
Absolutely.
So we're going to place the other square in the opposite corner, and again we're sewing across the line, cutting the corner off.
Do you know, this is a really simple block, isn't it?
It is. And
great.
When I saw the pattern for this quilt, I was just like, oh, I love the effect of that, and I was like, is it going to be really hard? And then when I read it through, I was like, I'm making this because this is lovely. I like a straightforward, effective quilt. Something that isn't overcomplicated and is nice and straightforward to do. So again, you're pressing those little triangles back, take care when you're pressing the triangles because you are on a bias to reform the square. And for each little block you'll need 4 of those squares. There's quite a lot of squares to make for these, but again it's one of those you can chain piece it and it'll soon come together.
Definitely.
Again, might be worth when you make the first one just to lay it out so you can see how the construction goes. You want it so that your little white pieces go in towards the middle.
Yes.
You'll have a small white square and then you'll have 4 rectangles of your background fabric and they go in between. And basically it's a 9 patch, so you're going to sew those 3 together, those 3 together and those 3 together. Just make sure that you've got the orientation of these corner blocks the right way so they form sort of like a snowflake pattern, isn't it really?
Yeah. Lovely.
So
does have that effect.
Yeah. I take the middle block and sew it to the left hand side block. And you can chain piece this, and again this is a method that I've recently discovered and I think this has saved so much time. And you might not want to save time, you might want to take your time doing it and immerse yourself in the whole process, or you might think, oh yeah, I fancy doing this on a weekend, and you probably could. If you get all your cutting done, you could get the quilt top put together over a weekend. It would be quite quick to do.
Definitely.
And then we're just making sure that we've got the block going the right way. Just opening those out. And you can see here what I'm doing is I'm chain piecing the block, so I'm leaving the line of thread between the rows, because I don't need to, when I've got these rows constructed, I won't need to cut this thread. I can just join it together without, because it's such a small block as well, finger pressing is all you need to do.
Brilliant.
Before you then press it when you finish the whole block, really. So just checking that and making sure that I've got it still facing in the right way before I actually sew it. You could take your time and pin each piece just to make sure that you're in the right place. So you can see now my rows are all joined together by the threads that I've used for chain piecing. I'm going to make sure
there, Jane.
that middle block, because it's the plain one with no seams, my seams go in towards that one. The middle row, the seams go away from the white, so they're under the grey. And then the same with the bottom row, they go into that middle piece there. So when I come to put these rows together, if I'd cut my fabric properly, they'd line up beautifully, but the seams will nestle. So I get the one seam going that way and the other seam going.
Oh, can you come across slightly, Jane? That's right, you're slightly off camera.
Where am I now?
You're in overhead camera, so do
Yeah.
you want me to put you in closer?
Go close up.
Yeah,
You can see that seam goes that way and that goes that way. So when I sew them together, it'll give nice crisp points where they meet.
Oh, Jenny says we'll have to see if we can find her quilts. We will look out for them, Jenny.
Oh, we will.
And Debbie Stevens says that people will love it. There's so much to see. Oh, Susan can't find Nikki's comments. Read the gnomes. It's Nikki Coupland, so Coupland. I don't think Nikki will mind me saying that those lovely gnomes, beautiful gnomes, she charges, I think it's £30 for those. Which, look how beautifully they're made.
Well, they're all individual. You'll get...
Yes.
There's no... Because they're handmade, there's no two the same.
Julia, if you're looking for the calico, it's the extra wide that we've got in stock. And I will just double check it's not showing as sold out. It absolutely shouldn't be. We've got another brand new bolt that's just appeared. Let me just double check. Might just be a click of a button. Fret not.
And there we are. That's that little block made. And how quickly that comes together. Oh, we're still on it.
Oh, sorry.
Machine. Sorry, Gemma. It's me. I'm just like...
No, that one was all on me.
So it comes together really quickly, that little block. So the next thing you're going to do is you're going to join your blocks together. You'll have a sashing strip.
Brilliant.
and that fits between the 2 blocks. So you join one to one side and one to the other, and you'll make, if you're doing it the full size, you'll have 4 gnome blocks that you join together with a sashing strip on each side, and then 1 sashing strip on the end and the beginning of each row. Just making sure that my seams stay flat and don't get tucked up by the foot on the machine. Again, you might wish to pin these to stop that happening. Join those 2 blocks together with the sashing strip in between, so I'm going to place that one on top of there, lining it up with the top, and then sew down, joining those together. You may, if you're going to make the big quilt, you might find it easier to sew 2 blocks together into pairs and then sew the pairs together rather than sewing them block onto sashing strip, block onto sashing strip. It could stretch it slightly and distort your row. So I always find it better to do 2 blocks and then sew the two blocks together into the row. It just lessens the amount of stretch that might happen.
Perfect.
It's just got itself tucked up. There we go.
This is quite hypnotic, Jane.
Yeah. So once you've got your rows together, then you'll add a sashing strip to each side, each edge. So one at the front and one at the end. We'll just quickly get those whizzed on. Just lining them up edge to edge. As I say, when you come to do it, you'll probably want to pin yours because it's quite a long seam, and you'll want to make sure, losing the foot again, it's decided it's one.
Oh, has it?
I think
run away again.
Quite heavy footed, I think that's what it is. Just gone underneath. There we go. I'll sew that one on there.
Something else I should probably mention as well, being as we have had some forms of Christmas discussion today, is yesterday as well, and the last few days, I've noticed another little flurry of purchases of the Advent calendar.
Oh yes.
They are low stock, and more to the point, we will be closing the Advent calendar off at some point. It's not going to run straight through till November or anything like that, because our elves need to get busy wrapping all the little gifts and arranging couriers and getting all of that sorted. So if you did want a Natasha Makes Advent calendar, it really is, you know, important that you get your name down for one now.
Exclusive to Natasha Makes
they
as well, aren't they? They're not.
We just get the most wonderful feedback every year on these. But
Natasha,
the heartbreaking has your bobbin gone, Jane?
Oh, has it?
I think it might have done.
Look at
Our
that.
heartbreak, just from my angle, I can see it.
Yeah, you can see that. That's cool.
Just you know, the heartbreaking thing that happens every year, and John was guilty of this last year, is those people that contact us and say, I really, really wanted one and I couldn't get one and it made me so sad. And then everyone was saying how brilliant they were every day and I spent the whole of December being upset about it. We don't want you to be upset about it.
No, we don't want you to feel that way.
We have sourced more stock, loaded more, but ultimately we have to have a cut-off to have time to wrap, pack and also to source all the product to make sure that we've got, you know, enough.
Yeah.
So we have increased our numbers a couple of times. We're at the capacity now. There are a few left, but there has to be a closing point where we wrap, pack, sort out the couriers. I can hear SJ trembling in the other room because that's a job and a half sorting out the logistics of it.
Oh gosh, yes. Right. Thank you for pointing that out, Gemma, because otherwise I'd have stayed right to the end and gone, oh no, my
that's
bobbins
all right. No one wants to play bobbin chicken and lose.
No, it's not much fun. Come on, let's get these seams underneath each other. There we go. So you'll do your rows like she says, she takes it from the machine. So you've got your sashing beginning in between each block and at the end of your row.
Oh look, Jane.
And then your little squares, you've got a piece of sashing there and you join your squares together with a sashing strip between each one. And again, you'd have, I'm going to call it the snowflake block because that's for ease of using it. You'd have one of those at the beginning of the row and at the end of the row. So again, quite straightforward. Just
absolutely.
Those apart. I'm just going to attach that square to that end one there.
We have just had the question of whether we can have a birthday countdown calendar for those who really don't do Christmas. And I think the issue with that is we work here to a deadline of they're all going to go out at the same time.
Yeah.
So for us to have a product that's sort of rolled over, when do we change it to be relevant? Because otherwise you'd be buying the same one more than once.
Yes,
so
this is true.
We've just had the very brilliant suggestion from Auntie Lizzie Crangle that you could buy the Christmas one and keep it. They're not overly festive. They're not. They're packed full of sewing goodies. We don't, you know, wrap them all in Christmas paper. They're actually wrapped in sort of in tissue, and then they go into, or brown paper, and then they go into a recyclable box.
Yep, that you can use again.
It's not like it's a big Christmassy item.
So you've got your sashing strip there, and I'm going to attach that now to the top. And again, what I've done is I've pressed my seams, well I haven't pressed them, but I finger pressed them towards the middle of the sashing strip there.
Lovely.
And then I'm going to press them, no hang on, we press them towards the block, sorry, the middle, the long one, towards the block. No, I was right the first time. And then the sashing strip away from the square there. So again, when we come to place these together,
you can nest them.
You can nest the seams. Now I am going to ask if you'll pass me the pins, Gemma,
yes,
please.
Yes, of course.
Because on this, because it's such a long row, I just want to be sure that I've got my nesting seams in the right place and they don't move. So I just line the pin along the seam where it nests, making sure that it is nesting. And you can feel that it sort of locks in when you do run your finger along it. You can feel the seam.
Great.
Sort of locking together.
I do love these pins, and for those of you who are itching to get some Taylor Seville pins, we have very, very few in stock at the moment. Our supplier is anticipating they will be back in September, but these things come from America, and so again, you know, when we do get them back in and we shout and say they're here, buy them, you know, we don't just do that to be annoying.
No, they don't hang around for long.
Or pushy, because we don't need to advertise these pins. They fly out. You know, I was using some other pins the other day, Jane, because I was just throwing something together and there was some in my pin cushion, and I'd got my Taylor Seville ones in another project. And oh my word, I've thrown them out because I was going into my fabric and pulling my fabric.
Yeah.
And they're not
I don't know what it is.
They're not even old. They're just
not sharp.
Terrible.
They're just not sharp. I don't know what's happened, but somewhere has decided that we don't need to have sharp pins, which is rubbish.
Or seam rippers, actually. That's another one.
Yeah.
But I'm not wasting my fabric by using pins that aren't good enough for them. These glide in and out of the fabric beautifully, and you're not snagging them.
They also have the long end on them, which is great for people with dexterity problems, but they're also heat proof, so you can iron them.
You can. They're wonderful. Oh, Auntie Lizzie says, this would take me 2 days, Jane. You're amazing. It is a quick block.
It is a nice quick make, actually, and I think it would come together really quickly. Definitely a weekend, you know, obviously dedicating your time to it, but a quite good weekend project.
And as much as the cutting, you know, you've got to be on the ball, haven't you?
Yes.
If you've got a stripology, you could make quick and easy work of the cutting as well, couldn't you?
The stripology would just make it a dream.
Whiz through it.
So you would add
Look at that.
a sashing strip to the top and the middle of each row as you go.
Gorgeous.
I did do...
Oh, we've got a green one, because there is an odd green one here and there.
So
just here and there.
That will join onto there.
Oh, brilliant.
But you can see that just is, it's such a lovely fun project.
It really is. Captain Small's going to be all over this one.
The little green one there, his green hat, you can see that there.
Isn't he lovely?
But you could make one block and make him into a cushion.
You could.
Or the front of the sack.
Yeah.
Put him onto the calico. He's just such
really
good
nice
fun.
to do matching sacks, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
But yeah, we'll just get the quilt in here so that you can see. But you
see
do
how
have
that
the
comes
green one
together.
here and then another one here.
I think
and
you can see
there'll
it
be a
in the
plan,
layout
won't there?
on the back page of the pattern.
Lovely. Just
She's
three green.
Scattered. 3 green ones just scattered throughout the quilt. Just adds a little bit of movement to the quilt pattern.
Just freshens it as well, doesn't it? But similarly, you could buy this bundle, which is, like we said before, absolutely cracking value. And if you wanted to make the hats to match in with your own decor, these fabrics are beautiful in your stash, aren't they, Jane?
Yes, yeah.
And then you could just switch out this for whichever fabric.
Can you imagine using the ombres with
they'd
this
look
and then
gorgeous,
cutting it
wouldn't
so it
they?
ombrayed through?
But you have William Morris fabrics in your lounge, don't you?
Yes.
So you could William Morris the hats and different William Morris fabrics through there.
Absolutely, yeah.
And we've all got, you know, bits that we've got left over from doing cushions and curtains, and to do a few strips and have each one different.
You could make it each one different. You could do a rainbow one.
Yeah.
You could change it round to however you wish.
You could.
The instructions are there. They're very straightforward, very easy to follow. The cutting instructions, a nice list of the different types, you know, the different lengths of strips. Label each one. Organisation is the key with this one.
It is. It is.
But it comes together beautifully and it does make a lovely quilt.
It does. And it's just one of 9 projects in this book. And the book comes to you at the not at all offensive price of $7.99.
Absolutely amazing.
Crazy.
It is.
Crazy.
It is.
Absolutely lovely. Jane, that's been fabulous. Thank you so much.
It's such fun. We all love a gnome.
You've been a busy girl this week. We've had to get ahead a little bit because you've been making all the things for the Gnome Show, and I'm so pleased because it's just beautiful. You've been making something rather fabulous for tomorrow as well, haven't you?
Yes.
This is...
I think some people have seen this because
just divine.
Natasha took a sneaky peek when I just got up from pinning it all together on the warehouse floor.
Yeah, absolutely. Lo's finally with us. Hi, Lo.
Hello.
Where you been?
I bet she's been at work. She has to do that work thing, doesn't she?
Oh, she says, I love the French Revolution quilt, chopped off heads. Chopped into little bits, hats. Yeah. Does this go a particular way up, Jane?
I don't think it does.
No. Okay, good. This is tomorrow's make. You really can't afford to miss this one. Look at that.
It's just such a beautiful collection of fabric.
But the pattern, Jane, all credit to you. Brilliant.
Yeah,
I just love it.
Inspired by the mint and tile floors around by us because I live in Staffordshire, and you go into any old shop and they've got mint and tiles on the floor.
Because we're not 6 foot like Natasha is, just so as you're aware, there are Three rows here,
yes.
And then obviously all the borders and sashing.
It's such a pretty collection of fabric, isn't it?
Yes.
Lovely and soft, summery, gentle.
Beautiful promenade
really
fabrics
pretty.
from Moda. They've surpassed themselves with this. And just to give you a little sneaky peek,
extra wide backing.
The most stunning 108 fabric on the back.
We've got two colourways of that, haven't we? Which is just beautiful.
We have, Jane. Don't give all the secrets away, Jane. Don't tell them, Jane. I want this one for my own. Yes. I want it for my... Me and Izzy are arguing over this quilt, aren't we?
Yes, yeah.
The answer is Natasha will go, no.
It's mine.
That's mine.
Teals and pinks, it's mine.
It's been lovely. We'll be back tomorrow with that then.
Yes.
As for today, if we do get these Gnome Fabrics, we will shout about it from the... I think everyone will hear us without social media, to be honest. But please do check out the website, go to the Watch Live page, or go to Textile Tuesday, have a look through. Fabric clearance section, you can go onto there. Any bolt end sale that we're loading will keep appearing craftily, and I know they'll keep going out. I know who you are. There are people out there who are keeping an eye on that all day and keep refreshing, because you are getting the most fabulous fabrics. The ones I load and I think, I hope that one doesn't go.
Yes.
And there's various, I know, I've seen you. There's various people that are savvy.
I will admit, I caught Izzy yesterday and I was like, I'll just have that one.
She's got a little womble pile.
She's got a little pile.
She's got a little pile of, these are for me, please do not load. But for those of you that are being savvy and getting those bolt ends, they are perfect. We've made sure that they're a good quantity, not enough for a show for us, but they're a nice big piece of fabric to back your quilts with, do your dressmaking, or just having your stash.
Having your stash, yeah.
So keep an eye out for those. Check out SJ's Craft Corner as well, and we'll be back with you tomorrow. I think we've got everything else covered.
Wonderful.
Oh, Lo says, it's lovely, Jane. I look forward to receiving it.
Bless you, Lo.
You keep trying, Lo. You keep trying to get one of Jane's quilts. I don't blame you. But yes, thank you for joining us. You know Natasha's not here this week, and to have your support is hugely important for us.
Absolutely.
We need the boss lady to know that she can be away and the world doesn't stop turning and the show goes on.
Yes.
So thank you
and
for
we
being
are
with
capable
us.
of looking after it while she's not here.
Yes.
Because she needs to have more time for herself, doesn't she? She's been working incredibly hard recently.
She has. She has.
Yeah.
And she's put her back out.
Yes, bless her. Goes on holiday, wrecks her back.
Absolutely. But we will see you again tomorrow, 10 a.m. with that beautiful new quilt. We'll give you a little sneaky peep at Half Metre Heavens as well.
Yes. The gnomes might be here by then.
I know, maybe they will. Maybe they will. I do not gnome, Jane, whether they will be here or not.
Never know.
Thank you very much for being with us. You take care. Be good, and if you can't be good, be crafty. Lots of love.
Bye-bye.
Bye.